and you can take over for a minute and feel free to lambast me about not being adequately prepared at the time of starting. Oh yeah, we need your camera to catch up.
Ah, of course. Yeah, my camera needs to like adjust to the lighting real freaking quick. This is terrible. Anyway, good evening, everyone. As you know, we were basically had to put in a rain check from yesterday, and please forgive Larry. He only had 24 hours to prepare for the show. Okay, so it'd be charitable with him. Now, tonight we've got a special treat for you. We'll be talking about basically all things Epstein. Okay. Related to where he got his start, basically the type of criminal enterprise that he had basically created with the assistance of some very powerful people and the associates who were closest to him. One of those, of course, being your favorite president, Donald John Trump. All right. Um, don't worry, it's not that bad. Okay, but it is there. So who do we got in the chat right now? So David Siver says, "Tell Chris to hurry the." I know, right? I need him to. Okay, Larry Neville and Lil Cam 51. Just so you know, in about 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to be moving over to a Rumble exclusive. So if you do have a Rumble account, now would be the time to get over there. If you do not have a Rumble account, I suppose you have enough time to set one up in the next 10 minutes. Okay. Chris is usually handing out free candy. All right, white man in a white van riding up in your hood, likes to hand out candy. All right, don't be afraid. Just take the candy. All right. So, so as you saw in the news today, actually, breaking. We can get into some breaking news right now. Apparently, Matt Gaetz has been redirected from a Turning Point USA event in Florida, and he's headed to Washington D.C. right now at the president's request. Could it be? Is it happening? Is it more bullshit? Is Trump going to throw some more performative nonsense in our faces and try to hope that this Epstein thing just goes away and that we stop talking about it? Who knows? But it looks. I would not want to be Pam Bondi right now. It looks like the boys at the FBI, Cash and Bongino, have basically thrown her under the bus for what are their shared sins as well in this whole debacle. But Pam Bondi, she's kind of part of that. She's part of that DeSantis mafia. All right, and I think that she was chosen as the attorney general, kind of as a way to patch up any rifts that may have existed between the Trump and DeSantis camps after a somewhat testy, what's that thing called that the candidates have to do before they become the candidate? But the primaries or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, all right. So we'll see where that develops. Maybe there's something to report tomorrow morning, right, Chris? All right. So if you were paying attention on X yesterday, Donald Trump came out with one of his infamous old man boomer screeds, okay, where he basically dumps an entire wall of text, all caps with a questionable punctuation, all right? And in this, he claimed that the Epstein saga was a Democrat conspiracy, okay, to defame him, which is somewhat laughable. I really don't know what's going on with this camera, Chris. It's
Yeah, we you know what, guys? Just make sure you've got your premium membership on tap, so we can buy Mario a better camera. Oh,
it's not even a camera. It's literally the thing built into my computer. I'm really that. Oh, hey, look at that. That worked. Nice. Okay.
holy shit!
Now it's too bright. I had to touch it. Okay, you got to touch it. All right. As Paulie Walnuts would say, you got to give it that army fix. Okay, just hit it until it works. Right.
Okay. So you were touching on Pam Bondi, which fair fair play. I know everybody wants to, but guys, don't be fooled. She is older than she looks, and congratulations to her. But like I said yesterday, every time, and I'm not going to pull that clip again, but every time I hear Pam Bondi speak, I just think of Miss South Carolina. I think that U.S. Americans are unable to locate America on a map because just like in like South Africa and they don't have like maps. And every time she opens her damn mouth, that's what I hear. Bear with me just a second, and I'll try to find the Truth Social post that you referenced.
Right. And so Trump thinks, obviously Trump knows that's complete BS. Okay. And the idea of the Epstein saga being some Democrat conspiracy designed to one day entrap the president. Okay. This is like reverse Q. Okay. Like, give me a fucking break. And in the course of this presentation tonight, you are going to see, without a shadow of a doubt, Donald Trump is new Jeffrey Epstein. Partied with him, had him as a close friend for over a decade. All right. Not saying Trump did anything particularly egregious with him, but let's just say Trump's lifestyle during his 10-year friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, not exactly church boy material, not even close. He's a philanderer and a serial womanizer. All right. Now, today is also a special day in that it is the 1 year anniversary of the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt. All right.
Yeah.
And this time last year, we went live on it.
It's been a wild year, man. I mean, it's hard to believe that was a year ago.
Yeah, it was. And I thought at the time, and I think a lot of other people did, especially people who were, everybody, we all back in 2016. Okay, all of us. As far as basically all the influencers on our side, okay, all content creators, all of us were hardcore on that Trump train. Okay, we really thought it was going to be that populist revolution. We thought we were going to basically shine a light into darkness, expose these demons, and effectively shut it down. Okay, it was supposed to be a brick through the window of a Capitol, a message from the American people, and we saw over the course of his first 4 years, his first administration, him getting essentially compromised one step after another. Okay, kind of like a death by 1,000 cuts of the credibility of the man's presidency. Now, that said, it was still probably the best 4 year, probably the best presidential term that I had seen in my lifetime. Okay, at least that I can remember. But it's not what we wanted. We wanted a revolution. All right. Now, after Trump survives that assassination attempt, I thought, along with a lot of other people who were skeptical of Trump at that point, that maybe this would be the turning point. You know what I mean? Now, they tried to kill him, right? So it'll be no holds barred this time when he gets back into office. And that event and the incredible, some might add, suspiciously incredible optics of that event effectively sealed his second term as president, right? So
now, in his first term, he accomplished less than we had hoped for, less than he promised, for two primary reasons. Just constant. I take that back. Three primary reasons: intransigent, useless, coward Republicans in the House and Senate. Right, just like right now, we have control of the House and Senate. And we've got Republican congresswomen arguing for extended maternity leave because working 100 days a year is just too much for them. And bitch, if you want to be a wife and mother, do that. Yeah. If you want to abandon your children and go into the workforce, do that. But one of the lies of feminism is you cannot have it all. Because it all is chronologically redundant. You cannot simultaneously run a business and raise a child. And I don't mean you can't run a business while having a baby. I mean you cannot do the two things literally at the same time. right?
Mhm.
You cannot have it all. Anyway,
And,
so
and the social consequences of that are going to be enormous. They already are, and it's only going to get worse
yes,
going forward. There's an entire generation of women our age, okay, like in our generation, basically who never married, never had children, and now they're finally getting it, okay, and yeah, that darkness is seeping into the back of their mind, and it's going to compel them to vote even. It's going to compel them to support essentially communism, okay, as effectively revenge against a society that gave them what they wanted, but it wasn't really what they wanted because you should have known what I wanted because woman thought.
yeah, we're
But I
not going to
digress.
get down that rabbit hole tonight, though.
No, we're
That
not. No, we're
my
not.
point was, this is one of the useless, feckless things that our Republicans are doing right now.
Mhm.
We covered the one big beautiful bill. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but overall, it's still an omnibus. It's still chock full of garbage, and they basically reduced everything good in it to a sort of an attaboy. Um, so that was the big one in term one that kept Trump from being perfect. The second one, obviously, just constant Democrat interference, obstruction, and just straight up crime. I mean, what the Democrats did to Donald Trump in his first administration, between the Russia hoax, the illegal spying, etc. I mean, there is a laundry list. Maybe that's a deep dive we should do. How many crimes have Democrats uh, committed in conspiracy together against Donald Trump throughout the course of his presidencies? Uh, and then, of course, the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. The more we learn about the pandemic, the more it appears to have been carefully orchestrated, and the likelihood that Joe Biden, who has a major relationship, and the Democrat Party, who have major relationships with the Chinese Communist Party, were not somehow involved in conspiracy with the CCP to essentially attack the world with a bioweapon, with an engineered weapon. The idea that is a stretch strains credulity. There's too much consanguinity between the interested criminal conspirators in that case.
Yep.
Hey,
Well,
fast forward to this one. We're about to be pretty hard on Trump about the Epstein stuff. We really are. Which is not to say that I have any suspicion that Donald Trump is a pedophile like Joe Biden clearly is, or like Bill Clinton probably was, or honestly, the only thing that keeps me from expecting that Obama was a pedophile is that he was clearly into big dudes.
there's some weird. There's some weird images. Okay, look into his relationship with Anthony Bourdain, and then Bourdain's suicide. Okay.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
His suicide.
Yeah, Trump's not a pedo, but well, Trump's name is Buck, and he likes to fuck. Okay, basically.
But I'll say this before we kick all the freeloaders off and get into bashing on Trump a bit over the Epstein stuff. The Epstein stuff aside, and I think the handling here, the Epstein situation as it's going right now is essentially Donald Trump's Afghanistan withdrawal. They took a thing that could have been done well, and they botched it aggressively. And he's doing a bad job of trying to recover from it. But
Yes.
outside of that, the Donald has had a very effective and successful first, what are we at, 300 days now. He's done a lot of really, really good shit. Not least of which is everything we're seeing going into deporting the hostile foreign invaders in this country. Stacking them up in Alligator Alcatraz and not Gitmo. What's the almost said Sitco, the frickin' prison in El Salvador. CCOT. I can that one and the damn Nord Stream 2 pipeline. I every time we have to talk about it, the Nordstrom pipeline. It's because of Nord Stream VPN. I always say, no, that can't be it. That's that stupid FACO internet security thing. But okay, so tonight I'm about to go ahead and kick all you guys off.
Well, I had a little bit more introductory, maybe leave a little teaser, a little appetizer for the free crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was basically about the recent news. So, let's talk about Cash and Bongino, right? Basically the two guys in charge of the FBI. Both of them were on basically the podcast on the streamer circuit for years. Okay, wrote their own books. Okay, Bongino had a very successful show on Rumble, and a common theme throughout the entire time they were doing this for the 4 years when Biden was in office was pretty consistently that there was more to Epstein, all right, and that the Epstein was essentially the skeleton key to unlocking the corruption within Washington D.C. Okay, they were adamant on it. And Cash Patel, as you may recall, actually told Glenn Beck on one of the Blaze Network programs or whatever that the decision ultimately lied at the desk of the director of the FBI. Okay, and that is the reason why we don't know the truth about Epstein. Right? Cash Patel said the reason we don't have the truth about Epstein is because the FBI director will not cough up that information. Okay, well, Cash, now you are the FBI director, huh? What's it going to be now, right? Bongino basically refused to go to work yesterday. All right, or on Friday. Just didn't even come in. Didn't even come to work. Wasn't there in formation. Bongino out of ranks. Okay.
AWOL.
And the reason why is he's having a crisis of character right now. He's like, this is his crisis of conscience. And I like that. I respect that about him. He knows this is wrong. He knows this is fucked up. Okay. And he's really, I mean, he looks in the mirror. He looked in the mirror to shave, and he just smashed the mirror because he couldn't stand the sight of himself. He's probably punched holes. It's probably looking like a meth house. Okay, he's been punching holes in the wall all weekend, right? Hopefully he gets some of that aggression out, and I would like Bongino to come back, but and it's going to have to come from Trump. I really would like Trump to do a reversal on this whole affair. All right, and the reason why, the big reason why, is because if you really, really ever wanted to drain the swamp, Donald, okay, if you ever wanted to really, really dismantle and attack the deep state, releasing the Epstein files would be the most important and most effective way of doing that possible. Because the majority of the people from the political sphere, at least, who are going to be who are among that client list, okay, taking the trips to Little St. James, going to the exclusive parties in Palm Beach and New York City, all right, those are in fact your enemies, Donald Trump. The problem is you're on the list too. You know those people. You know what was happening. I'm not saying you partook, but if Trump did declassify all of this, if Trump had all of this released, despite whatever personal damage it may cause him, he would be, without question, the greatest president of my lifetime. Okay? So this is your chance, Donald. You can be the hero we always wanted you to be. You just might have to sacrifice yourself to do it. So.
All right, we are 20 minutes in. It's time to kick off the freeloaders. I'll say this one last thing. I want everybody to know this. I'll leave this out for everybody, and then we're gonna kick y'all off and go to the premium exclusive. There is, or at least there was, a list. Okay? The news is that the FBI and Pam Bondi and Donald Trump are now telling us that there's no evidence that there ever was a list. That is a lie. And let me be very clear. I know this to a 100% metaphysical certitude. There was a list. Now, the problem is what the list is or was has always been somewhat nebulous. They just, it's just been referred to as the Epstein client list. So you might think that that's his little black book that had all his contact information in it, or you might think that it is a list that was generated by the accusations of his victims or his associates. No, let me clarify something. At a minimum, there was a list that was generated in the course of the investigation, which included all known associates. Now that list should include the majority of his clients as known associates, but that does not guarantee that everybody on the list is in fact a client, right? Donald Trump would be on that list because they did have contact with each other. They attended one another's parties. They made political contributions to the same politicians from time to time because, much to our chagrin, the fact remains Donald Trump did, in fact, be a Democrat in the 80s and 90s. He grew up, right? But there was that time. But the point being, and I want you guys to remember this, marinate on this, and remember what I've just explained to you, because in the coming weeks and months and even years, people will tell you that there never was an Epstein list, that the idea of an Epstein list was a crazy tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, and there never was such a list. I'm telling you 100%, there is no criminal investigation in which a list of the known associates of the prime suspect is not generated for the purpose of essentially creating a to-do list, an agenda for the people that you need to interrogate and question and investigate in association with the primary suspect.
Yeah, don't get hung up on the idea that there's this like magical artifact, okay, like the quest for the Holy Grail that has all the names written on it, like the friggin' PGA Championship Cup that's got every single winner engraved on it. You know what I mean? Look, just look at New York Post archives, okay? You can see the photos from the investigation. We're talking boxes and boxes of CDs, okay, that are labeled, that they basically they blocked out what they said, and reams and reams and reams of documents, okay, all in the Wexner residence where Jeffrey Epstein had been running an operation since at least 1992.
Yes. Okay, and with that, it's time to give the axe to all the freeloaders. Just if you haven't already done it and you want to stay with us for the rest of the show, pop over to Rumble, set yourself up a free account, and make a comment in the live chat to see if you can't get your hands on one of those free memberships. But here we go.